Hello friends, welcome to today's beginner splits yoga flow. This class is perfect for anyone who is wanting to achieve the splits or who simply wants to improve their hamstring, their hip flexor, and all around full body flexibility. The use of props will be an asset in this class. I highly recommend at least 2 blocks and a blanket or any other household items that you have lying around. Although it is optional, it is greatly going to reduce the strain that is exerted on your accessory muscles, thus facilitating a greater capacity to go deeper into these postures as we let go of any physical, mental, or emotional tension that we might be experiencing. When you're ready, find yourself a comfortable seated position, finding length through the spine. Shoulders are rolled back and down. And we'll take 3 cleansing breaths to commence practice. Slow, gradual inhalations through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. Tuning into your own rhythm, letting go of the surroundings. And when you're ready, we'll begin to invite some movement into the cervical region of the spine. We will place our palms in our lap and lower our left ear towards our left shoulder, finding a lovely stretch along the right side of the neck. For a deeper release, you might like to walk your right fingertips over to the right, extend your left arm overhead, flex at the elbow, and gently place your left palm somewhere around your right ear, guiding your head over to the left. One more breath, releasing from the posture, returning to a neutral position, and we'll take the stretch on the other side, lowering the right ear towards the right shoulder, and either staying here or taking any modifications as you did on the other side. Seeing if you can soften the jaw, relax the muscles of the face. One more breath, and gently release. We'll take a seated side twist. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, tenting up onto the left fingertips behind you, maybe gazing over that left shoulder as you use the outer edge of your right palm to press into the left thigh. With every inhale, feel yourself growing taller. And with every exhale, see if you can twist a little more, create a little more space. Find a little bit more ease. One more breath. Exhale back to center. Float the arms down and we'll swap the cross of the legs, taking the twist on the other side. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, gently guide your torso to the right, lowering your right fingertips down behind you, maybe gazing over that right shoulder. As you place the outer edge of that left palm against the right thigh, finding a twist. Breathe. One more breath. Exhale back to center. Float the arms down by your side. Staying in a seated position, extending your arms out in front at shoulder height, we'll begin to point the fingertips towards the sky and then down to the earth, moving with the breath, warming up the wrists, the forearms, the fingers. A few more rounds, keeping the arms elevated. Everything is engaged. Core is turned on. And we'll make fists with our hands, maybe rolling out the wrists in one direction. and finding a circular motion in the opposite direction. Really articulating each movement, finding that connection to the breath. From here, we'll open our fingertips out wide and then make fists, opening and closing the hands, warming up the joints, the ligaments. From here, we'll stretch our left wrist using our right fingertips to pull back our left fingertips. Arm is extended, wrist is facing towards the sky, and we'll take it on the other side. Being gentle, working within your capacity for today. And release. Inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, lower them to heart center. Turning to face the short edge of our mat, we'll come into a tabletop position. Toes are tucked, walking the hands out in front a few inches. As we send our hips up and back, extending the legs, coming into downward facing dog. Really stretching along the torso, the arms, grounding down through the fingertips. Navel is drawn towards the spine. You might like to walk out the dog a few times, flexing one knee, extending the other, inviting some movement into the outer hips, backs of the hamstrings. And in your own time, finding stillness, tuning into the breath. From here, we will walk our feet towards our hands a few inches, shortening the stance, and we're going to ground down through our left arm as we rotate our right arm under and grab a hold of that left ankle, twisting the torso to the left, finding a deeper stretch, keeping the hips squared. Exhale, return to center, and we'll go on the other side, grounding down through the right fingertips, guiding the left palm over to the outer edge of the right ankle, twisting to the right. 2 breaths here. And gently release to downward facing dog. 1 breath here, and we'll begin to slowly walk our feet towards the top of the mat, taking as many steps as you like as we come into a forward fold. Perhaps bending the knees considerably, allowing the chest to melt onto the thighs, sinking into the heels, maybe rolling the head from side to side. You might like to come into ragdoll, interlacing the opposite fingers around opposite elbows, letting go. And from here, we'll come into a halfway lift, planting the palms down, extending the legs, or you might like to place the fingertips on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Relax the back, soften the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, draw the navel towards the spine, find length along the back of the neck. Exhale, forward fold. Once more, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. From here, we'll transition into a side stretch, flexing the right knee, extending the left leg as we extend our left arm skywards, stacking the fingers on top of the shoulder, rotating the torso to the left, feeling a lovely stretch in the IT band, the outer hips. Exhale, release, and we'll take it on the other side, extending the right leg, flexing the left knee as we extend our right fingertips overhead, gazing towards the right. This is a great stretch for anyone who enjoys running, hiking, walking, as we explore some gentle lateral movements of the hips. Exhale, release, and we'll take it again once more, flowing with the breath. If you notice any regions of the body that feel particularly interesting, you are more than welcome to stay in a posture for as long as you like. Pause the video and join us when you're ready. Listening to your energy levels for today. When you're ready, we'll meet in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, extend the legs. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. One more time, finding a halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, and from here we'll find another forward fold twisting stretch. We'll cross our right leg in front of the left and we'll walk our fingertips around to the right, maybe finding a slight bend in that front knee, the right knee, extending the back leg. And we'll take our fingertips around to the left, rotating the torso, finding a nice forward fold. This is a great posture for digestion as well as stretching the legs. Exhale back to center. We'll uncross the legs and take the stretch on the other side, this time crossing the left leg in front. The left knee is bent slightly, right leg is extended, and we'll walk our fingertips around to the left, finding a twist. Back to center, and we'll take the stretch on the other side, walking the fingertips around to the right. If you lose your balance, know that that is okay. That is an opportunity to re-equilibrate and try it again. When you're ready, we'll uncross the legs, return to a forward fold, ground down through the heels as we roll up inch by inch. Coming into Tadasana, extending the arms overhead. And joining the palms together at heart center. Lowering the arms down by your side. Taking a moment to ground yourself. Find your connection to this moment, to the breath. Roll the shoulders back and down. Palms are facing forward. Core is slightly engaged. A slight tuck of the chin as we find length along the back of the neck. Feel yourself rooting into the earth and growing taller towards the sky. Inhale, extend your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. If you're using props, place one block underneath either shoulder, grounding down through the palms, and we'll step back with our left leg as we come into a supported Crescent Lunge, Anjaneyasana. Free to modify the height of the block depending on how much elevation and support you would like. Really squeezing the inner thighs together so we can lift up and out of that pelvic bowl. We're high on the ball of that back foot. Front knee is in line with the ankle. Finding length along the posterior chain. On your next exhale, we're going to push our hips back, extending the front leg as we come into a variation of pyramid pose. Inhale, come into runner's lunge. Exhale, push back into pyramid. Hinging from the hips, allowing the chest to rest on the front thigh. A few more times like this, flowing with the breath. For a deeper stretch, you might like to flex the front foot when you come into that extension, and really working on keeping the hips squared to the front of the mat throughout this whole practice. So when the leg's extended, we want to draw that right hip back as we push the left hip forward. Mindful movements, flowing at your own pace. On your next exhale, we'll push up into pyramid pose and stay here in a fold. Really allow yourself to melt into this posture, adjusting the props if needed. And we'll come forward into our supported high lunge. We'll place the blocks on the inside of that right leg as we come into a triangle pose, Trigonasana. Pivoting on the back foot, extending our left arm up in the sky. Hips are stacked. The torso is twisted towards the left. Engaging the core. Legs are activated, and maybe finding a nice stretch along the left side body around the QL region. 3 mindful breaths in this posture. And gently lowering the left arm down, we will place our blocks at the front of the mat, coming into a forward fold, stepping the legs together. If you're feeling open in the hamstrings, you might like to extend the legs, maybe wrapping the arms around the back of the legs, allowing the chest, the belly, the nose to come close to the legs, softening along the back of the neck, unclenching the jaw. One more breath. Gently bend the knees, grab the props if you were using them, and we'll step back with the right leg as we come into a supported crescent lunge on the left side. Taking any adjustments you need. And if it's in your practice, you might like to lower your knee down, untuck the toes, find what works for you. Appreciating that there may be imbalances between the two sides of the body. Seeing if with every exhalation you can release some tension, let go of any mental, physical fogginess. And we'll transition into our pyramid pose variations. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, extend that left leg as we push our hips back into pyramid pose, allowing the chest to melt onto that thigh. Finding your rhythm a few more times like this. And again, if you'd like that deeper variation, you want to stretch the back of the calf, the hamstring, find that flexion when we come into pyramid pose. If ever the mind begins to wander, guiding yourself to this moment with the breath. And on your next exhale, we'll push into pyramid pose and pause here for a moment. Seeing if you can sink a little deeper into this posture. Adjusting the props as needed. One more breath. And shifting the blocks to the inside of that front leg, the left leg. We'll pivot on the back leg as we twist to the right, coming into Trigonasana, extending the right arm overhead, fingertips are drawing skywards, broadening across the heart space, the chest, core is engaged, legs are engaged, finding a stretch, softening the face, breathe. One more slow and gradual breath in this posture. And when you're ready, guiding the right arm down under the shoulder, we'll place our blocks at the front of the mat, step the right foot up to meet the left, coming into a forward fold, either bending the knees or straightening the legs. I'm really working on getting the hips in line with the heels as you shift that torso forwards and down. Surrendering to this moment. All is well and you are safe. We'll come into a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And again, straightening the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the palms down. We'll step back with our left leg. Drop our left knee down, coming into a low crescent lunge. You might like to keep the toes tucked or point them towards the back of the mat. And it can be really useful here to place a blanket under that back knee. Just adding some support so that we're protecting our joints, ligaments, and can really work deep into the stretch. Maybe placing your palms on the right thigh, really helping you lift up and out of the body as you find a deep hip flexor stretch. You might like to extend your arms overhead, joining your palms together in Kali Mudra. All fingers are interlaced together except for the index and thumb, which are pointed skywards. Be mindful to square the hips, squeeze those inner thighs so that we're lifting out of the pelvis whilst stretching deep into the hip flexors on the left side. Maybe finding a slight back bend, lifting up and out of the thoracic region of the spine. Gazing up. Either staying here or for a deeper hip flexor stretch, we'll extend our right arm down, placing our palm on the left leg as we extend our left arm skywards, rotating the chest to the right, sinking the hips forward. Really working deep into the psoas, breathing into any tension, letting go. Quite often when we're practicing for the splits, it can actually be the hip flexors that are inhibiting our full range of motion. So this is a great way to stretch these muscles in isolation without overexerting ourselves in the splits. So come back to this asana as often as you like. Incorporate it into your daily practice. One more breath. And we'll gently place our palms down on either side of our front foot. Walking our hands to the inside of that leg, you might like to extend your back leg coming up onto the ball of the foot as we come into lizard posture. Maybe lowering down onto the forearms, maybe lowering the back knee down, taking any movements, adjustments that help you settle into this posture. You might find it helpful to externally rotate that right hip, rolling onto the blade edge, the lateral edge of that right foot, maybe gently pressing into the right thigh with the right hand, gazing up as you expand across the heart space, the chest, using that left forearm to lift up and out of the shoulder girdle. Core is engaged. One more breath. And we'll begin to return to our palms, arms extended. And from lizard posture, we'll tuck our back toes under, coming into a deep stretch for the quadriceps, flexing that left foot, drawing it towards the glutes as we externally rotate our right arm, grabbing a hold of the lateral edge of that left foot, using that left palm for support. And for a deeper stretch, you might like to grab a hold of the inside edge of that left foot, rotate the shoulders to the front, tucking the chin towards the chest. Breathe. Feel yourself sending loving energy to the regions of the body where you are feeling it. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. All is well. One more breath. And with control, gently release the bind, guiding the left toes to the mat, lowering the right palm down, placing the hands on either side of that front foot. We will extend our right leg as we shift our hips back, coming into half split, ardha Hanumanasana. The hips are squared, the back knee, the left knee is level with the hips. You might like to grab your blocks here, placing them under your shoulders, finding any adjustments that work for you. Maybe hinging from the hips and folding over that front leg, or staying upright, listening to your body. That front foot is flexed, working on drawing the pinky side edge of that foot backwards to really activate all areas of the hamstring. The right hip is drawing back as the left hip is drawing forwards. This can be quite a demanding posture for anyone who stores a lot of tension in the calf muscles, so be gentle with yourself. And when you're ready, finding a static posture, letting go. Begin to release from half split, bending the right knee, walking our fingertips to the top of the mat, placing the blocks out of the way. We will extend our back leg and join our left foot at the top of the mat to meet the right, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, maybe placing the fingertips on your shins. Exhale, fold. Twice more, flowing with your breath. And when you're ready, planting the palms down, stepping back with the right leg. And we'll take the series on the other side, lowering that right knee down on your blanket if you've got it. Toes are tucked, or you might like to point the toes behind you. Maybe placing your palms on that front leg for support to help you find length. Taking any adjustments. And either staying in this low supported variation of Crescent Lunge or extending your arms overhead, finding Kali Mudra, gazing up. A slight back bend as we broaden across the heart space, letting go of any stored emotions, any tension. Breathe. You might choose to stay in this variation, or for a deeper hip flexor stretch, we will twist to the left as we guide our left arm down behind our right leg, extending our right arm up, gazing to the right, broadening across the heart space, really feeling a deep stretch in the right psoas, squeezing those inner thighs together so we can lift up and out of that pelvic bowl, making it an active, safe stretch. A few more breaths. Wherever you are, beginning to release from the low supported lunge, we will place our palms down on either side of our front foot, the left leg. And from here, we will tuck our back toes under, guide both palms to the inside of that left leg, maybe lifting the back leg up as we come into lizard posture, swaying the hips back and forth a few times. Maybe lowering down onto the forearms, and for a more relaxed variation, lowering that back leg down, allowing yourself to sink deep into this hip flexor stretch. Maybe rotating onto the blade edge of that left foot, guiding your hip open with your left hand. Gazing up. 2 gradual breaths in this posture. And in your own time, mindfully releasing from the posture, coming up onto our palms. Tucking the back toes under. Staying here or coming into a quad stretch, flexing that right heel, drawing it towards the glutes as we externally rotate that left arm, grabbing a hold of the outer edge of that left foot. Twisting to the right. Breathing loving pranic life force into that quadricep region. This is often a region of the body that we neglect. So this can be quite triggering. If any emotions come to the surface, simply allow them to be and then let them go. If you're looking for a deeper variation, rotate the shoulders to frame the front of the mat, guide the chin towards the chest. Maybe the heel finds the glute. Breathe. One more breath. With control, release the bind, gently guide that right foot to the mat, tucking the toes under. We'll place the palms on either side of that left foot as we extend our front leg, shifting the hips back as we come into ardha Hanumanasana, half split, grabbing any props that you would like. It is perfectly okay to stay upright. We want this to be safe. We want it to be comfortable. Find your edge and see if you can breathe through it. You might like to place your palms on your hips to help guide you into correct alignment. Left hip is drawing back as the right hip draws forwards. And maybe folding over that front leg, keeping the foot flexed. Breathing into the calf muscles, the hamstrings, the Achilles. Letting go. Mindfully releasing from half split, placing the props to the side, and we'll come and take a seat for a moment. Placing the palms in the lap, rolling the shoulders back and down, softening the facial muscles, re-equilibrating with the breath. We are going to set up for splits with our props. If you're not ready for this yet, you're more than welcome to take half splits again, or find any restorative postures that are conducive with your energy levels today. We have already considerably stretched the regions of the body that help with this posture, so take as many breaks as you like and come back to it when you're ready. If you'd like to join us in supported splits, we are going to stack our blocks on top of one another, roughly 2/3 of the way down from the top of the mat, and we're going to start on the right hand side. So placing the blocks underneath the right thighs, we're going to use our hands for support, keeping both feet flexed as we extend our legs out, keeping the hips squared to the front of the mat, and being mindful to keep the legs aligned with the hips, working on lifting up and out of the torso, keeping that core engaged, keeping the legs activated, inner thighs squeezing together. And if you're feeling a stretch along the left hip flexor, this is a perfect opportunity to rest here, knowing that you're supported while still easing in and opening up the muscles. Know that you're never resigned to one posture. It's okay to make modifications, have a look around, see what feels good. Slowing down the breath. If this is enough and you're already feeling it, I invite you to stay here. Or if you'd like to deepen the stretch, we're going to remove one of the blocks, keeping the other block where it is. And again, using your hands for support to guide the hips into a squared alignment as we come into a lower variation of supported splits. This is going to deeply increase the stretch on the left side body. You might like to place that block on the left side for support underneath your shoulder. Really using your core to help you lift up and out of the pelvic bowl. You might like to join your palms together at heart center, close the eyes, center in on that point of focus. You might like to pause the video here and stay in your splits, or we'll gently release the mudra, place our fingertips down, and with support, flexing that front leg, placing the block to the side, we'll mindfully come out of the pose, and we'll take it on the other side. So I didn't mention this before, but if you would like to use a blanket under that back knee, that can just add another level of comfort and safety that's going to enable that mind-body connection to feel supported, enabling you to go deeper into this pose. So setting up for Hanumanasana on the left, both blocks are stacked underneath that left thigh. Guide yourself into the posture, keeping both feet flexed. Hips are squared to the front of the mat. This is a wonderful way to passively open that right hip flexor so we can guide the body into splits. Recognizing that you're not in competition with anyone. The fact that you are showing up here today is enough. With practice, persistence, and a compassionate approach, you will be able to get your splits. Trust yourself, trust the body, trust the mind. Either staying in this supported variation or we will remove one of the blocks. Taking any adjustments. You might like to place the block on the right hand side underneath that right shoulder, helping you find stability. Maybe extending the arms or joining the palms together at heart center, finding a mudra. Really assisting with your connection to this moment and sending loving energy from the breath to any region of the body where you are feeling tension, sensations. Know that you are okay. And either staying here for as long as you like or beginning to flex that front leg, gently guiding yourself out of the posture, placing your blocks to the side, and we'll come into a seated position, placing the palms in the lap, closing the eyes, letting go. On your next inhale, begin to extend the arms overhead, finding length in the torso. Exhale, gently guide the palms to the heart center. And we'll take 3 cleansing breaths to close practice. Inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling through the mouth. Thank you all so much for today. Return to this class as often as you like to work towards your splits. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Namaste.